So before I start the video, I wanted to give a shout out to Teams of Regret. The video that I'm going to be watching today got deleted and he managed to download the video and was nice enough to send it to me to also do a video on. So go check out his channel. He does basically the same content as me, Griffin, and a shit ton of other people do. So once again, go check him out, give him a sub, and thanks to Teams for helping out. What's up everyone? Hope you all having a great day today. So Sony recently bought Nexus Studios, which is this company that makes a lot of PC ports. Now, some Sony fanboys were in denial because obviously these people aren't the sharpest tool in the shed, but eventually Sony came out and said that this company was going to be used to port more exclusives to PC, and as you'd expect, the usual mental breakdown happened. I don't even need to put in a montage of the salt because it's literally happened so many times at this point that you can imagine it and get a beat for beat recreation of what's going on Twitter. But today we're going to be looking at CrapGamer, who had a wonderful take on this Nexus PC port quote-unquote controversy, so enough talking and let's just play the fucking video.
So while this was probably expected, and even I expected this to some extent, it's still a little bit disheartening to see that Sony, for some reason, is following in Microsoft's footsteps in putting their games on PC.
Because Microsoft is now more profitable than ever because of them porting games to PC, and Sony obviously wants more money and people want to play more games. It's not that hard to understand.
Now, we don't know the exact amount of games or what type of games. It does look like they are still focusing heavily on creating the PlayStation 5 versions of games first. They have confirmed that Nexus, who they picked up, is a studio that they're going to use to help port some games to PC and things like that, which, you know, a lot of people picked up on that when they initially launched. Myself personally, I thought, you know, they picked up a studio that could support, you know, maybe help create a new Uncharted, something along those lines. But
did he really fucking think that a studio known for porting games to PC is going to help on the new fucking Uncharted? What?
You know, a lot of people obviously knew that what this meant. Now, what is it going to mean long term? I don't really know. Like, I think that you definitely hurt your console's brand by having these games everywhere, and we can again look at the Xbox as a way of comparison.
Yes, we can. The Xbox brand is now more profitable than ever. Sure, the Xbox fanboys don't have any more ammo to fire on Twitter, but that's literally all that happened. Just Xbox fanboys are basically gone now. The only bad thing about Sony porting their games to PC is that if they start doing it like day and day, like how Xbox is, the Sony fanboys are probably going to suffer the same fate as the Xbox fanboys, and I'll have to resort to selling myself on the corner to make money. So honestly, Sony, please keep your games on the PS5. I can't go back to the corner.
You know, EA back in, I believe it was 2016, leaked that there were about 31 million Xbox One sold, right, in 2016. And this was like right prior to the release and the decision to put every game on PC at the same time. Now, the funny thing about this is what we see is it's not exactly as cut and dry as what a lot of people have maybe expect. Like, we don't, obviously the fact that they're going to use Nexus to port games means that there's not going to be day and date stuff, so it's not going to interfere with the game itself or the PlayStation version. But
how does that mean it's not going to be day and date? I might be missing something, and correct me in the comments if I'm wrong, but can't they just work on the PC ports for the games while the games are being developed?
I still think if you have a situation where, you know, everybody just knows in a few years the game's going to come elsewhere, that's less of a reason to actually pick up a PlayStation 5, and thusly actually hurts their brand. We're going to get into this as soon as possible. Now, for me personally, getting back to my story, 2016, EA leaked that there was 31 million Xbox Ones out in the world. This was directly prior to the announcement of Quantum Break and all future exclusives going day and date. So from 2013 to 2016, which is, you know, about 3 years, you know, probably a little less than 3 years because it launched in November of 2013, but basically, so the first 3 years of the life cycle, Xbox One was at, you know, 31 million consoles sold. From that point on, 2016 to 2020, basically you have a situation where they only sold an additional 10 million units in that amount of time.
Because it was at the end of the generation and most people wanted to wait for the next gen consoles to come out. And what proves this point even further is that the Xbox Series X has literally been outselling the PS5 right now in the US, even despite the Sony fanboys bitching about it having no exclusives.
Now, there could be other reasons behind this, obviously some lack of games and stuff like that, but again, where they officially ended up according to AMD in March of 2020, where AMD said they shipped 150 million GPUs between the two, and Sony announced 109 million that same week, and that left 41 million just by math. Even if you want to bump that up to 45 million, still, you go from 31 million to 45 million, you know what I mean? 3 years you get 31 million, and in the next 4 years, you basically get 14 million. Like, that's not a very good sign. And one of the biggest things is, Xbox didn't have any exclusives and things like that, so that is very unfortunate when you see that happen. And again, I do think that a lot of people kind of really don't understand the ramifications. Yes, people just like with anytime you bring up something that's woke or whatever, hey there, why are these people doing this just to be politically correct?
No, it's just annoying when they force in like a minority or a gay person with like literally no character aside from them being gay or a minority or a woman.
Whatever, and people call you crybabies and try to like harass and make fun of you for that. Like, I never understood that. It's the same type of situation with
bro, it's the fucking internet. People are gonna make fun of you.
This, right? Exclusives are what make these consoles worthwhile. Like, there's 3 different consoles to get. I own all 3. The main thing about it is they all offer, something that the other one doesn't offer.
Yet the one that doesn't have any exclusives outsold pretty much everything back in June.
And if you're putting all that on someplace else, then what good does it do? And to be quite frank with you, right? Like, here's the thing that I also kind of wanted to point out. We've never lived in a world where PlayStation and Xbox had their exclusives available both on PC.
So how can you know if the consoles having their exclusives on PC is going to genuinely affect them?
Now, I can understand, like I don't think people understand the ramifications of this, right? Like, you would see people on PC buy a PlayStation just before those PlayStation exclusives. Now,
not many. Most people that are buying an next-gen console, especially right now since almost nothing is out right now, but most people buying a next-gen console are buying it whether or not it has exclusives. Let me show you again how the Xbox literally outsold the PS5 despite it having literally no exclusives.
The funny part about this is, there's never been a part where you could get these games on PC. So the fact that you're now going to be able to do that is, like I said, disheartening to some. And now we have the details on exactly what's going on. I do think that it's just a really sad situation. So
yes, it is so sad that the Sony fanboys ammo on Twitter is going to be no more. I shed one single tear. I find it really funny how these Sony fanboys are totally fine with all the anti-consumer business practices, like charging for online, charging $70 for games, but then when Sony starts getting rid of their Twitter ammo and porting it to PC, they throw a goddamn shit fit.
With this, Sony's looking forward to working with Nixxes to release more PlayStation titles on PC, according to Jim Ryan. Sony Interactive Entertainment is looking forward to work together with Dutch studio Nixxes to bring more PlayStation titles to PC, according to Jim Ryan.
Is he that retarded that he literally just read through that title twice?
Speaking with Famitsu, the Sony CEO commented on the company's effort to bring more PlayStation games to PC, saying he's happy with their current efforts, although they're still in their... The latest PlayStation 4 game released to PC is Days Gone, developed by Sony Bend. And again, that really just depends on how you feel particularly about these types of games. For me personally, I think that it's a bad move, especially when, I'm going to get the counterpoint, right? They're going to go, well, this is going to mean more games, more exclusives and stuff like that. But, again, I heard that years ago about Xbox as well, and it didn't lead to any more exclusives or anything else, right? It just led to less players to play against.
Okay, he was on a roll there for a second, about to make somewhat of a cohesive point, but then he fucked it all up by saying more people playing a game somehow leads to less people being able to play against. How the fuck does that work?
More cheating with crossplay, and again, I know a lot of people don't understand this, but it does cut down on your console base, right? Like, look at this. It's true. PlayStation as it stands is like the only place where you can disable crossplay with PC, and because they have enough of a player base to go out and do that. I can't imagine a world where these games are going to be on PC with crossplay and the amount of cheating and things like that that's going to go on that people are going to have to deal with.
Well, when the vast majority of Sony's games are single player and the very few games that have multiplayer that are exclusive to PlayStation have a complete shit multiplayer mode, I doubt anything noticeable will happen.
Just to make Sony an extra, a couple $1 million, or you know what I'm saying? Like, it doesn't really make sense to rock the boat like that, especially given really what was kind of out there to be able to do that. So obviously, this is a little bit of a bummer of news for me. I'm kind of disappointed that they're going to go in the same direction of Xbox. I mean, obviously it's not day and date stuff, and they obviously know also that it is going to be a situation where if you're developing for your console and PC at the same time, it can elongate the actual production time, and it can also run into other issues where your game can suffer, because obviously the PlayStation 5 has this amazing solid state drive. So
oh boy, what's he about to say about the Jesus SSD?
if you were to be, like I think I'm more okay with this if it was like PS4 titles and older. But if you start talking PS5 titles, doesn't that take the solid state drive out of the equation, right? Like, I mean, there's no way that Ratchet and Clank could have been done on a PC.
Yeah, let me press a massive X to doubt that Ratchet and Clank can't run on a PC because of the Jesus SSD. Even if the SSD was as strong as these Sony fanboys love to say, it would very easily be able to be optimized to fit on PC SSDs. But okay, keep telling yourself that.
Because there's no set hardware on PC, right? For the way that they do that, nobody would have been able to play it.
But there's limits and recommendations, like for example, my $100 laptop can't run Doom Eternal.
Because I'm sure that probably next to nobody has a solid state drive the equivalent of that. So yeah, it is a little bit disheartening to see that. And again, it's just one of those things where I guess like we're gonna have to learn to kind of roll with it, I guess. I don't know. Like, for me, I think that it is a little bit of a disappointment. As long as it's not day and date, I think I'm okay with some of it. But
I hope it gets day and date so then I can farm the salt.
I just feel like, with these companies, with corporations, which is why I say never trust these corporations. I just, it's just a situation where, for me personally, I just kind of go, well, you know what? It's best not to trust any of these leaders, and because they all just want money.
Unless they're saying something that fits your narrative, of course.
Despite the fact that PlayStation is coming off like their best profits ever or whatever, we still see that, hey, guess what? That's not enough, because they want even more money, and then more money after that. And
no shit, a corporation wants fucking money?
then more money after that. So, I mean, it's always going to be something with these companies, and that's the way that they kind of do things. Like I said, it's just unfortunate to me. Like, why would you follow the last place company and do what they do? I mean,
Yeah, Sony, why would you follow Microsoft, a $2 trillion company, while Sony is over here with around $130 billion? Shame on you, Sony, for following one of the largest corporations in general.
I get the idea that you're trying to grow what you're doing, but you also have to remember that you have a console fan base that you are out there trying to appease and trying to keep happy as well. So
The only people who are unhappy with this decision to start porting PlayStation exclusives to PC are the salty retards on Twitter because they're losing ammo for console wars.
hopefully you guys understand that and understand where I'm coming from. Thanks for watching. Fact 'em up. Crap Gamer out.
Ironic, cause this video had almost nothing remotely close to being a fact. God damn, this was just fucking awful. You can tell that Crap Gamer doesn't even watch the videos people make on him, because if he did, he would understand his bullshit and would have stopped spewing shit a long time ago. But anyways, thank you all for watching. If you liked the video, hit the like button. If you really liked it, hit subscribe, and I hope you all have a great day.